Your 41 NBC AccuWeather forecast, presented by Volume Chevrolet.
Welcome back. Over in Dublin, we've got cloud fields of cumulus right overhead. There's a nice layer of cirrus clouds above that, so it's dampened the sun a little bit, but obviously still some of that coming through. It's rather warm, 83. Dew point at 64 with wind that is light and variable outside. Not a whole lot to talk about in terms of Middle Georgia right now, as there's nothing going on with our radar. We zoom on out. We have this one storm that's to the northeast of Gainesville, Georgia. That's tagged currently with a severe thunderstorm warning on it. And then you see a number of strong thunderstorms kind of along this line that's through Alabama and down in Mississippi, where it's a little more intense and organized along the Gulf Coast in Louisiana and Mississippi there, a pair of severe thunderstorm warnings. So we're tracking this complex of storms heading our direction as we go through the evening and into tonight. I'll go ahead and show it up on there for you so you can see them. It's a little messy, but it could still have some wind, a little bit of hail with it as it tracks eastward. Now here's the good news. It is expected to weaken as we go through sunset. Now we do see a few isolated storms out in the front. We'll see if any of those do start to pop up in Middle Georgia as we get later into the evening. But so far today, there has been no rain for us, and we should see those likely hold off until we really get in the late evening to overnight hours, because it is that mess coming from Alabama that we'll see. So 62 degrees, wind light and variable. There will definitely be the possibility for some fog tonight, low to mid 60s heading into the beginning of your Saturday. It will be another muggy night. So your weekend going to be warm, and for the third time in a row, muggy. We'll be seeing temperatures that top off in the mid to upper 80s both tomorrow and Sunday afternoon. We have this front here that's expected to kind of move through the region tomorrow afternoon and could spur on a couple of storms over the southern counties over the later parts of the day for tomorrow. As for Sunday, just a couple isolated sporadic storms could happen anywhere, and temperatures are going to be rather warm but slightly less humid with this wind out of the northeast. That break will be very short-lived. High pressure coming down will shift the wind direction back to out of the southeast heading into Monday, which will ramp rain chances back up and bring more of the humidity back in again. And temperatures are going to keep getting hotter next week as well. So as mentioned, we may see a couple of isolated storms out in the front make their way into Middle Georgia ahead of the line, but the cluster kind of gets here towards midnight. It's falling apart by that point anyways. As I mentioned earlier, storms should largely start to weaken after we go through the sunset hours. Then we get into your Saturday, and if we are going to see storm chances, they're going to be best over the southern third of the region, right? You're going to be seeing this wind largely from the west-northwest during the day. And yesterday, the model I was showing at around this time is very similar to this. It was not very aggressive in the rain chances, but then later in the evening, the model run had more aggressive storm chances further south. It'll be interesting to see if that trend does return as we go into tonight, and that could mean for more storms for the southern half of the region tomorrow afternoon. As for our Sunday, a little drier to begin the day. I'm not going to be as confident in our chance for fog tomorrow night into Sunday, but there still could be a few isolated storms during Sunday afternoon and evening. So here's kind of a summary of your weekend. I'm thinking 86 for the high tomorrow and a little bit warmer on Sunday because it's going to be a little bit drier out there, but the front's very weak. I don't expect to have much of a cooling effect on us. Extended forecast is coming up in 10 seconds. Your 41 NBC AccuWeather 7-day forecast is brought to you by Volume Chevrolet. So as of now, it costs 30% for tomorrow, and that is a bit weighted. Again, the southern half of the region, much better chance for rain tomorrow, if you like, than the northern half. Then Sunday, kind of sporadic in nature, another 30% odds there on Monday. And as we continue to move forward, looking pretty hot as we get towards the end of next week.
For weather updates on the go, download the 41 NBC AccuWeather app and follow 41 NBC on Facebook and Twitter.